Hey everybody, welcome to the 8th episode of my Roblox Studio Beginner series. In this video, I'm going over loops. There's two types of loops, for loops and while loops. And I'll be going over both of those. First, we're going to go over while loops. So to make a while loop, you type in while, then the condition that you want met, do, enter, and it'll put an end for you. So, the way this works is while the condition is met, it'll do the code that's in the block. We're going to start off with true. While true do will always work no matter what. And I'm going to type in a wait 0.1 because if I didn't put this wait here and I just ran some code like print tomatoes, my computer would crash because the code is run very quickly. Like, I don't even know how fast, but unbearably fast. So you have to put a wait so your computer can actually catch up to what's happening and it won't crash. And if I run this in our output, it'll print tomatoes over and over and over again. Okay. You might want to try while false do, but that just won't work. You can also do while 10 equals to 10 do, and that would still work. It's still printing tomatoes. Okay, I'm going to make a variable, and I'm just going to call it, I don't know, number equals to 0. And here, I'll type in while number is less than 10, do, wait 1, and then number plus equals 1. Now what it's going to do is while it's going to check if number is under 10, then it's going to run the code, wait 0.1 seconds, and then add 1 to number, so it'll be 1, and it'll print through that 10 times. And no, it won't, because I probably made a mistake somewhere. Oh, wait. I forgot to print the number. Oh my god. There we go. It prints 10 times. Whenever your script reaches a while loop, so let's say it had like 20 lines of code on top of this and another 50 under this, once it reaches this while loop, it'll loop here until it's done looping and then continue. It won't run this loop and continue unless you spawn a function or make a coroutine, but that's a future video. Moving on, we're going to look at for loops. Now, before I teach you for loops, I have to teach you one thing that I don't think I've taught you yet, which are tables. Local banana equals to curly braces. What a table is pretty much just a list of items or a dictionary of items or values. And in a table, there can be any kind of value, like a number value, an object value, a string value, and a boolean. Like 5 hi game.workspace.baseplate and true. And whenever you add another object to a table, it always has to be separated by a comma. You don't need the spaces though. As long as there's a comma, you'll be fine. Now this is where the for loop comes in. For I, v in, putting a space there, in pairs do. Okay, so you're looking at that and you're probably just like, what did he just do? So 4, that's just 4, it's just there. I, which stands for index, and V, which stands for value, I'm pretty sure. In pairs, so we're telling the script what table that we want to loop through, and then it's going to run the code in here. So index and value, what are those? So we have our table. Just going to copy that from up here and paste it down here in my comment. And here we have 4 objects in our table, obviously, right? And for each, normally when you're scripting in another language like Python or C++ or whatever, when you go through a table or a list, as it's called in some other languages, the first item in the list is usually number 0. And then the next one would be number 1 on the list. The next would be number 3 on the list. And the next would be number 4, and so on. So high would be 1. Game.workspace.baseplate would be 2. And true would be 3. But Lua is different. When you're using a table, it starts at 1 instead of 0. So 5 would be 1. High would be 2. Game.workspace.baseplate would be 3. True would be 4. So that's what index is. The index of 5 is 1, and the index of high is 2. Value is what the object actually is. So 5 is the value, high is the value, and game.workspace.baseplate is the value. So in this loop, wait 0.1, print I. Why don't I type 1 there? Oh, I made a mistake. I usually do I, but in this case it's index, because index and value can be any variable you want. It could be car, it could be burger if you wanted. Run, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I print, whoops, if I print value, it printed the index of the first one, and the value was 5. 2 is the index of the next one, and the value is high. 3 is the index of the next one, baseplate is the value. 4 is the index of the next one, and true is the value. Now also when you're writing for loops, index right here, a lot of the time you'll find yourself not needing it. And this, what you're about to do, can help your performance of your game a little bit by just typing an underscore and leaving it blank. You can do that if you won't need to use I, but when you do this, you'll most likely need to use V. And now, another way that you can run a for loop is without a table at all. For I equals 1, 10 do. It's like another way to do that while loop we did earlier with our variable called number, but just without a variable. This will just run the loop 10 times. I'll say print I and run it. It's loop 10 times. Okay, so that wraps it up. The for loops might be hard for you to wrap your head around, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll answer them as best I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.